Hey everyone, I'm doing a quick video on how to get your Archipelago install to have it have an SSL option. So for this to all work, I'm assuming you've already been to Archipelago and you've downloaded and installed it on your computer server. And I'm also going to assume that you've gotten certbot at the certbot.eff. If not, they provide install instructions. You go ahead and just run them for whatever software you have and install, and then just make sure everything's working. So for Archipelago, you should be able to go to your site at the HTTP and it should load up. And then for certbot, if you just go and run certbot version, you should come up with a version number. Okay, so with that, we're good. So now we're going to go into Archipelago and we're going to update the Docker file. And there's a couple things we need to do. One, we need to make sure we have 443 enabled, which I've done already. Next, we need to add a volume, 2 volumes actually. So the first one I am adding is going to be the space that certbot is going to use for web access. So this is the actual space directory we got to create. This is mounting it to this space in Docker. The second spot is when we get all of our certificates from certbot, we need to let Archipelago access them. So we're doing that same thing. So this is again on the local machine, and then we're just mounting this in Docker as well. So that we apply those changes by saving. All right, and once you save your file, you can now we gotta go ahead and create the directory we just defined. We don't have to create the Let's Encrypt one. That will be done by the certbot, but we do have to create in the persistent. We have to create the certbot directory there, and then that one we then have a www dot, and then in www dot we need to create a well-known, and it's .well-known. And then in there, we're actually going to create an index file so we can do a test. So we can make sure this is all working. So after we create our test file, we can now go and update the Nginx options. And we do this in 2 stages. Right now, I'm just going to add in an option for the well-known at the HTTP, just so we can get the certificates created. So I'm going to go into Nginx default.conf, and there's probably already a well-known here. I am just going to change this to what we've been using. So the big one is going to be using data Let's Encrypt. So we're just going to save that. And now I am going to tell Docker to I'm going to shut Docker down. And while that's going, we're just going to do a test to make sure when it does come back up that we're still serving pages. So it came down, and I'm going to send it back up. So this should have our changes for the certbot. So we should be able to look at our index test file. So first test the home page, that worked good. Now we're going to do .well-known, I forgot the N, and test. So that's all good. So we are doing really good there. Next, we're going to actually generate our certificates. Let's do gotta do a sudo command. So we'll do sudo certbot, and we only want to do a cert only. And then we're going to specify the root, a web root, to be the folder we created in Archipelago's persistent. So it's Archipelago persistent, certbot, www dot. And then we're going to specify our domain name. So in this case, it's test.cellular.org. But in your case, it would be whatever you are working with. So run that. And it's going through, it's doing its verification.
Yep.
And we worked perfectly.
Yep.
So now we need to do a new options file for Nginx. So we are going to go and I'm going to probably put this in the comments of the video because it's going to be a big file, but it is going to be called default.ssl. So I'm going to inject default, and so I'm going to do -ssl.conf, and then move what I have over for the file. This was actually something I got from one of the developers, Diego at Archipelago. I just modified it a little bit for what I'm doing. So server name, make sure it's your server DNS name. And this is right here is for port 80. So this is normal HTTP. It's just doing a force redirect to the HTTPS. This is the start of the HTTPS. Again, I got to put in my name, and then this is where your certificates have been. If everything got completed correctly, they will be there. So I was changing that to their actual names. Done. And then just to go back, if you want to make sure those certificates are there, you can just list them in the ets live, let decrypt live, and then you guys see to that, but you'll see them there. So now we need to just tell Docker that's going to be our file to use. So go to Docker and we just look for the default. And we're just going to make that -SSL. And then we're just going to do a Docker down. Come down. And we just put Docker back up again. And if everything works correctly, when we do Linux, we should be able to go right to our site under SSL. And it's right there using HTTPS. And it worked. So the other part of this is just making sure that certbot runs every so often. So the way you do that is we go back and we take our original command, and this will be your cron job. So we do this, and they do for testing purposes. You do -dry-run. It'll actually run through the command and let you know. It won't actually change anything, but you get a feeling if everything would work. So it'll let you know that this is a renewal, but simulating. So, and everything worked. So the dry one was successful. So you know if you run that in that's cron without dry one, your certificates will update regularly, depending on how you do it. I do mine daily at like 4 a.m. But that is how you get SSL in your Archipelago.